that's why I'm well compensated.
Yeah, we suck ourselves.
I'll get somebody else there.
The culture is actually damn good.
It's been a while since I've done this sort of thing, hasn't it? I miss Tree Picks so much. And as always, it's partnered with Underdog, the mecca of Pick'em and daily fantasy. Let's see how I fared the last time I put together my 4 predictions. Of course, I had to pick the game where defense dominated. Jaden Reed bounce back game? What a damn crock. Show me the next victim of poor foresight. The commies make the trip to invade Philadelphia. May they seize the means of the division for our liking. And may Terry McLaurin seize higher than his receiving yard total. Seriously, he's tremendously underrated and the only person on Washington that can catch. Can he also sub as a run defense? They have one of the worst in football, made worse by the Jonathan Allen injury. Saquon's gonna feast higher on rushing yard total. Quan Martin has had 4 or more tackles in 6 of 9 games. And with Philly's passing attack, I like the odds of him going higher on 3.5 tackles. But if there's one thing that Jalen Hurts and the Eagles love, it's the home run ball. And with those weapons at receiver, I believe Hurts is gonna throw a pass longer than 40 yards on the day. Finally, Jaden Daniels has been many things, but most importantly, he hasn't turned over the ball. No interceptions in over a month? I'm keeping with that trend and going lower there. With Pick'em, anything on Underdog is ripe for the taking. Tantalizing special promos frequently available in many states throughout America? It's a solid lock. But if you do join up, don't forget to use the code UTREE in the link below to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash in your first deposit. Plus a special pick in the lobby. Football has proven one thing this year. Never doubt the underdog. Not even for a second. And always remember to play responsibly. AFC North football is a spectacle that confounds the imagination, taking you to distant lands where logic and decency are left to the wayside, where quarterbacks of incredible talent turn so-called strong defenses into ash and vapor. 2 teams that showcase both their omnipresent strengths and their incredibly debilitating flaws on the national stage. Cincy's problem's simple. Zach Taylor's a kid who whipped up a thesis paper the night before the deadline, flinging up prayers when all they needed was a short gain to get a first down. Ravens? They don't exactly have a pass defense. They don't have much of a defense in general. It reared its ugly head again on repeat here. The Burrow to Chase connection couldn't be stopped from coast to coast. That high-speed train also happened to run over Kyle Hamilton, so here's a fruit basket as compensation. The Bengals roar out to a strong lead at halftime, and then we all remember, all right, the Bengals also don't have a defense. It's a Pac-12 throwback, baby. Defending 11 are merely decorative pieces meant to bedazzle the naked eye. Burrow countered by Lamar Jackson putting together a generational season one great play at a time. And we suddenly have a game again. Lou Anarumo's stock is crashing like it's September 1929. Or isn't it Justin Tucker? Both? It could also be the Bengals themselves if it weren't for high-end talent. Mr. Chase said invest in bank vaults if I were you. But riddle me this. You have a 3rd and short, and your answer is to dial up 2 go routes. Zach Taylor Asterclass indeed. Baltimore can't let this gift pass up. They snag it for their own gain and score a touchdown to take the lead. But you know that this is AFC North football. Nothing comes easy. Especially when Burrow, Chase, and Ref Ball are involved. Predictable games are so blasé. We need more death-defying feats and flags because we're addicted to the thrill. Even in a shootout, Ref Ball trumps all. With a good bit of assistance, the Bengals score a touchdown. But time is late. They want the kill.
To the right side he goes. Incomplete at the goal line.
I don't mind the decision for it even if the Ravens still had 2 timeouts. The real issue is the Bengals looking gift horses in the fucking mouth every chance they get. This was a game you needed, Cincy. Burrow's and Chase's valiant efforts were squandered, and there's more than a few men to blame for it. Teams like Baltimore relish in it as they take another step towards vengeance. In spite of their awful defense.
Achtung! Erleben Sie die größte Qualität. Die Panzerrote lobt die offene Binnen von München. Eine schmerzhafte Umbungen und zungenhaften American Football aller Booster für vergangene Stunden. Giants gegen Panthers im Bestreben der NFL, das Spiel global zu machen. Potenzial 8 Spieler pro Jahr von Danny Derbs gegen Bryce Young. Oh, was für eine schreckliche Freude wir haben. Alles, was New York tun kann, um jede Gelegenheit zu nutzen, wird und voller Praktik Zeit. Young tritt in der Red Zone. Schreckliche abgefälschte Interceptions in der Red Zone. Die Verteidigung war nicht in der Lage, einen Fingerhut zu stoppen, geschweige den Bryce Young. Er ist der verbotene Todes. Verlierst du gegen ihn, wärst du gefeuert. Vielleicht passiert es Danny Derbs. Ein Fumble verschafft New York eine gute Feldposition. Doch Josie Jewell reißt nun den Receiver aus der Hand. Oh, schreckliche Freude. Dieses Spiel ist ein Kriegsverbrechen. Demnach wird in Nürnberg wegen der beschämenden Fußballerführungen der Prozess gemacht. Viel schlimmer noch, wir müssen Überstunden machen. Dies ist ein Experiment, das Mängel aufstoßen führen würde. Um die Giants stimmen zu.
He hands this one off. And it's a fumble. Ball is loose on the opening possession of overtime.
Pick Derb. New York beschert Carolina mit Leichtigkeitssieger in Folge. Und dazu brach ich nur einen Beinschlag. Giants herzlichen Glückwunsch zu ihrer Schukenasche durch Sanders. Ich werde kein Wort sagen, aber wir wissen, dass man ein Idiot ist und sie später aus Versehen 1 oder 2 Spiele gewinnen wird. Das ist einfach die Art der G-Mana. Remind me to never consider the Bears for anything worthy of respect ever again. I got fooled by their strong finish last year and talent infusion on offense. I should have reminded myself that this is Chicago. No matter what's done, the only thing that's constant is their ability to fuck everything up. Look at what happened against the Patriots, for fuck's sake. They didn't just beat the Bears, New England completely humiliated them. In their own home! Someone seriously thought that Shane Waldron was a good option to lead an offense? There's no way that a team like this should be so mangled. This is sub-Mac Canada levels of ineptitude. 142 yards of production? 1 for fucking 14 on 3rd downs? Against this depleted roster? The Pats have nothing resembling a pass rush and they sacked Caleb 9 times. They only had 16 goddamn sacks before the game! New England didn't even have a red zone offense for the most part, yet it was so damn easy for them. This has to get Eberflus and company fired, right? It has to. This is pathetic. And the Patriots are laughing their sides off as Chicago becomes locale of the week. Maybe they'll give more of a shit about it than DJ Moore does. And then they hire a new coach and the same cycle continues anew for 3 more years of bullshit in the Windy City. Oh no, the Bears fired Shane Waldron as a placebo? What a tragedy for the rest of the NFC North. Who else will devise such genius schemes as option plays on the 1-yard line? We're running a fullback dive with an offensive lineman. We're leaving defensive linemen unblocked by design. Anyone who saw him in Seattle knows he was a hack, yet Eberflus thought he would unlock Caleb's abilities? Williams told his punter he wasn't gonna punt much this year. His leg's gonna fall off by week 14. And this firing's totally gonna fix the litany of issues and shitty team leadership and lazy veterans and McCaskey bullshit. Locale franchise and then some. Thomas Brown is now offensive coordinator. He didn't do too well in Carolina last year. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. It's like Chicago never left. Flacco, no! Why are you imploding when the Colts fancy themselves as playoff contenders? A pick 6 on the first play in a must-win game? You were the chosen one, Joe. You were supposed to lead Indy out of the QB abyss, not join it! The only thing that was elite about his performance today was his propensity for turnovers. He had a bunch of them with the Browns, but he'd overcome it with his gunslinging abilities. Not today. And Buffalo wasn't exactly pristine either. Indy's defense was forcing Josh Allen into plenty of mistakes. The chance to win it was absolutely there, but Flacco's weakness is coming to view. A lack of mobility and a penchant for turnovers. Fumbles well into Bills territory and getting sacked on a 4th and 2 down by 7. And then another interception for good measure. Absolute agony for everyone except the Mafia. They're taking out a hit on Indy. And despite severe concerns and flaws, Buffalo runs away from the Colts' imploding ambitions to secure a win to get 8-2. Be careful though. Next week is gonna be your true test. The soft underbelly of the schedule is complete, and the Chiefs lie in wait, ready to out-bullshit you at every turn. They are vulnerable. Can they be the ones to slay the Giants?
Ugh! This is professional football? Vikings, what the fuck was this? Jacksonville's a complete joke and are now without their golden goose under center. They have to rely on crashing Macs and all-white helmets. Maybe that's why Minnesota chose to step on landmines offensively. All I can rationalize is that Adam Gase is a Sam Darnold voodoo doll somewhere. Every chance to do something undone by repeated self-destruction. An impressive 10-plus minute drive and near the goal line? Throw a pick and make it all for nothing. Just a disaster of a performance, only bailed out by the fact that they're playing a team with no offense at all. Mac Jones just keeps crashing. Dougie P's offense is still broken. Get a few sledgehammers and find a way to fix it, because even the Vikings can take advantage despite their offense rivaling Guernica. Minnesota, for the second week in a row, escapes their own incompetence in the most infuriating of ways thanks to a weak opponent. John Parker Romo should get the keys to the city for his one-legged heroics. The Jags? They're just terrible without Lawrence. Brian Flores' unit didn't have to break a sweat, ending the game on an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Trayvon Walker is a saboteur led by an offensive genius who's only been offensive for the last half-decade. But wait, my friends, we are too feeble-minded and dense to understand the intricacies of an offense. It's okay, Doug, you're too dense to understand red zone offense these days, so it checks out. I fucking hate you, Atlanta. Can you give the slightest attempt at being normal? At any damn time? Please, I want to legitimize you as having a shot at doing something in January, yet you end up pulling this prank? New Orleans is dead. Not only down for the count, but still deluding themselves that the house isn't on fire and they're not burning alive. This should have been an outright slam dunk to further solidify the division lead. Yet New Orleans was always one step ahead, with their best receiver being Marquez Valdez fucking Scantling. Endless opportunities to take advantage of a reeling defense, and all they get out of it is a blocked field goal. Atlanta's defense clamped down in the second half. They're only down by 10. A team with their firepower should easily find a way to win, yet they don't. They don't come close. Endless failure and ineptitude. Doinked away like another field goal to tie. Repeated frustrations with everything within reach, yet they lob their own hands off with a guillotine and throw picks. One final chance to avoid embarrassment, and what do the Falcons do? They clog the fucking toilet on a 4th and 4. Darren Reese merely symbolized the constipation that their offense would have all game. And it cost them dearly here. The Saints, after endless blessings from the Pope, get a moral victory to stop the bleeding. Atlanta's rivals now have a chance to capitalize. Especially those in red and black. The long-awaited debut has arrived. CMC went to Germany and came back with fresh ligaments harvested from a Chinese political prisoner. He's a sight for sore eyes, too. Both the Niners and Bucks desperately need this win. Both groups are reeling from suboptimal starts. Tampa Bay's run isn't getting any easier here. The Niners are going to get off to their typical strong start, but this is going to be a grindy sort of game. Both teams are reeling from injury. They lack the typical strength for such a necessary endeavor. San Fran throws a few punches and Tampa Bay fakes submission. And this is exactly according to their plan. What should be a relatively relaxed Niners victory is undone by Tampa's resolve and willpower. Their previous clampings will be no match for Baker and his ragtag bunch. Not to mention that Jake Moody decided that now would be a good time to replay the Moody Blues. 3 times altogether. Spent a 3rd rounder on this guy? He's an inconsistent mess. No wonder why Debo's ready to kill him in the long snapper. San Francisco may be up by 3, but the Bucks are steadfast. Baker Mayfield is a goddamn animal. Being clumped by a Bosa, and he still trumps his power with the conversion for the ages. And they'll keep it going all the way down to the red zone itself. They've made it to the precipice of the goal line. But for whatever reason, Tampa Bay can't break this defense. They're forced to settle for a field goal to tie. And there's too much time on the clock. The Niners have the ability to earn another chance as they get into field goal range. Oh, God. They have to trust Jake Moody. Brace for impact.
Kick is up and in. Up and through. It's good. The 49ers win it.
Well, Jake definitely lives up to his namesake. He will only accept a golden sombrero, not a platinum one. This potentially job-saving kick causes the Buccaneers to lose their 4th straight in extremely painful fashion. Baker's trying everything to will this team to a win, yet this stubborn mule won't drink from its trough. And then Tristan Wirfs randomly gets crushed by machinery. This is looking to be a frustrating season for the Bucs. Everything conspiring against them, even the elements they can't control. What a brutal way to go. Just had to face the Niners, didn't you? Too bad fate doesn't care for underdogs. San Fran can attest. Who will take out the beacons of bullshit and the undefeated, undaunted usurpers of football? Denver is the next valiant knight that will play a low-scoring grind and attempt to slay this dragon. You know the Chiefs' game. They'll give their opponents the illusion of success. Sure, let Bone X make a couple of good throws. Give them a false sense of security. Just that little morsel of a chance to upend the madness. A 14-3 lead is good enough. The time has come to unleash the power. A long touchdown drive merely showcases some of their talents. The rest will come later when their energy is needed. Come halftime, the clamps will come on. The Broncos' offense will be restrained as God intended. The divine intervention and blessings of the Chiefs will be constant. And slowly but surely, Kansas City will come alive under the might of Mahomes and his merry men. Yet Denver's defense is stout. They'll find ways to hold their adversary in check. And field goals are the name of the game. The Chiefs have the lead, but it's a perilous 2-point advantage. Sean Payton has something up his sleeve. He's going to beat the Dungeon Master at his own game. A dink and dunk final drive with only one goal: demoralization. Upending their longtime boogeyman with the MacGuffin of hope. Prepare yourselves, NFL world. Kansas City's destruction is imminent. Man, what a statement the Broncos are gonna make. The evil's gone. Someone cover for me. I gotta get some champagne to celebrate.
Come on, Will. Come on, Will. Come on, Will.
The kick to win it.
No! 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 Block! We blocked the goddamn kick! Are you kidding me? Oh, what the fuck? Oh my God, no! Oh, fuck! I give up. I give up on this sport. What the fuck? A blocked 35-yard field goal? Oh my God, I am done with football.
Game no one expected to be a heavyweight bout 2 months ago, but the sun is rising on both these teams. Washington eager to maintain momentum against all odds, and Pittsburgh facing their first true test. At FedEx Field, the only sounds are the drums of war on both sides. Yet like this fake punt on a 4th and 15, it doesn't come easy. Throwing the ball to James fucking Pierre? That's why the man's a cornerback. He can't catch shit. That error leads to an easy commie touchdown. And the fight will truly begin. Right after this, Olamide Zacchaeus muff to trade special teams fuck-ups. Balance is the key. But not for the Commies. They need to flash the stuff that makes Jaden Daniels a star in the making. 2 straight drives where they put the highest paid defense to heel. Especially Joey Porter Jr. His game will be a nightmare. And with a 10-point lead, Washington's running away with more than a statement win. Pittsburgh needs to respond in kind. And they do. This isn't the Matt Canada and Kenny Pickett show. This is one run by Pizza and Jeebus. They will combine forces and lead to a touchdown, but the struggle continues. Defense is holding their own in the might of life itself. A 3-point deficit feels like 30, but it's become a grind. Washington manages to strike with a field goal, and Russell Wilson counters with the most beautiful arm punt the world will ever see. Even his bad passes are so majestic. As George Pickens proceeds to beat the shit out of anyone within range, this game is still neck and neck. The Commies can't do much with the gift since the receivers can't catch. And Pittsburgh needs to be able to do anything against this defense. And they do. A balanced attack is taking center stage. The Steelers are going to do it. Methodical offense driving Washington to the brink to take the lead in the 4th quarter. Now Pittsburgh will have to try again after another 3-and-out for Washington. And the situation is perilous. There is work to be done. Mr. Unlimited will have to go into his bag of tricks to do it. Denver's the one paying him the big bucks. And he'll show he has something left in the tank.
3rd and long. Wilson floats it way upstairs. Williams! He's got it! Touchdown!
Welcome to Pittsburgh, Mike Williams. So weird to see this team have an offense. The more this happens, the more my irrational boner for Pickett goes away. The Steelers have snagged the lead and have no interest in capitulation. But Jaden Daniels is a constant threat. Washington gets another chance. And Zachert secures the ball, but it isn't at the marker. Oh no, a turnover on downs. You'd think they'd have the technology to identify where the ball is in real time or something? It's made things so much easier in soccer and tennis. But it's not over. The Commies still have all 3 timeouts. And Pittsburgh wants to finish them off. 4th and 1. It all comes down to this.
And there is a jump! Washington played into their hands!
That's quite anticlimactic. It wasn't the prettiest win, but the Steelers showed guts and tenacity against a valiant opponent. Both squads have their flaws, but these are 2 playoff contenders that put together an outstanding show. Washington reels in a bitter loss, but should feel little shame. They played well, and their future looks bright. But the Steeler bullshit is just that inevitable. And they might legitimately be going to the Super Bowl. I'm not even joking. Dude, that's incredible. Dude, this is fucking awesome.
To the Intermobile!
Jim Harbaugh is a simple man. He sees a team that his group should crush on paper. He will do everything in his power to castigate them in public. The Titans are arriving on a wave of memes. Will Levis is back in the saddle after weeks of inactivity. And in solidarity, the Bolts will strike them down to on-field inactivity. Smothering and suffocation, sheer demoralization and deflation at all angles. Worry about Tennessee? They're dead after a barrage of 3 and outs. Slow and methodical, as easy a win a team can get since, well, the last few weeks. Sometimes you have to take advantage of the easy part of a schedule, and the Chargers have done that. Their defense is strong. Their offense is led by Justin Herbert and a strong rushing attack. They have the pieces to make the playoffs again. If they do, we'll see how they fare with this next stretch. Cincinnati awaits. Good luck, gentlemen. Yes, Jets, Robert Saleh was totally the main problem with the team. Firing him was gonna solve every single issue on display. I mean, they did win a game last week. The self-inflated momentum was really riding high until they get ass-blasted in Arizona. And I mean full enema. Cleaning out the colon and ripping out the prostate bag. The Cardinals look to be a completely different class of football team. At least they could complete passes. At least they can defend. At least Kyler still has his talents as a quarterback. New York has absolutely none of this. Bringing in Devontae really solves something indeed. The question of if Aaron Rodgers is cooked. This was the worst performance of his career. An offense that can't do anything close to enough to compensate for an unbelievably shitty defense. This was supposed to be an elite unit. They can't fucking tackle. They're lost in their own damn sauce. The Jets think they're relevant. That's so cute. Here are the Cardinals to slap them back to reality. Honestly, the most decisive victory they've had in... I honestly can't remember. Keep being snarky, Aaron. It'll definitely help you when you complete the cycle and become a Viking next year. Watching Dallas's downfall has been glorious to 31 NFL franchises. And now it's gotten even worse for them. Dak's injury is more severe than first reported. He's gonna be out more than a few weeks. Part of his hamstring tendon tore off the bone. This isn't a turkey leg, so he has to go for season-ending surgery. In more ways than one. The Cowboys are super duper fucked. Prescott, regardless of oversaturation, is still a good quarterback. Even Micah returning doesn't overcome this brutal loss. A disaster year just got even more so. Are you all in now, Mr. Krabs? Are you feeling the burning hole of desire that this season's causing you? It's so goddamn satisfying to watch. Injury aside, I have tremendous news for you, Dallas. You get to play the Eagles. And they aren't interested in playing down to competition today. Philly's gonna strip you so your skin feels the piercing cold wind. And then they'll make you walk in shame. Like in 2020, losing Dak showed you he's the only thing making this offense run anything. The only running now is in fumbles and fuck-ups, because it certainly isn't with the whopping 49 net passing yards. The Eagles will expose the fraud. Can you even call it a fraud if your team just sucks? Behold your new savior, Dallas. Trey Lance has emerged from years of slumber to get real experience. He instantly throws a pick into double coverage.
Put him back in. He's not cooking.
Feel bad for a few of the players, but not the team itself. It's above our pay grade. I only have one thing to say after this slaughter. Don't you dare try to ask Jerry to put curtains over the stadium windows. Damn cancerous divas demanding protection from the sun's glare. What do you want him to do, take the stadium and push it somewhere else? And the moon would take over the glare. You seriously expect logic from stupid fans and journalists? So it appears that the Texans took my advice to heart last week. Houston's pushing the envelope hard against one of the best teams in football. The one that humiliates others is tasting their own medicine. This is a completely different group than the one against the Jets. Jared Goff has returned at the worst time. He's tried so hard to repress this form, and his schizophrenic passing gifts picks aplenty. He's about to rival Ty Detmer for most interceptions in a Lions game. Good Lord! This is turning into a laugher, and it'll continue to be so. For Detroit, Houston cucks themselves at every turn after half. I know you want us to win, Lions, but please take the ball. I absolutely insist you do. For fuck's sake, Texans! Bobby Slowick went from a media darling and offensive wunderkind to a guy who doesn't adjust his wiper blades during a downpour. It's back to the same old shit. Second half Stroud really is a thing. The third quarter Texans are a joke. And the fourth quarter isn't much better. Jesus Christ, they've dominated the turnover game and they're only up by 3? Limp dick defensive drives are only going to exhaust the defense. And that's what they end up doing. Another Lions push into field goal range and the game is tied. For fuck's sake, Texans, you have the chance to do something. They fuck it up on a third down, but Fairbairn's money, even from 58 yards out. Kaimi missed. Are you fucking kidding me, Houston? I don't care if the refs missed a penalty. You had countless chances to bury the Lions and you refused to do so. Now they're in field goal range and about to win.
52 for the win. It is just good. Just inside the upright. Jake Bates, hometown hero.
What the fuck? Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions. The Texans had 23 first half points and Detroit looked lost. Yet they win. Even Jake Bates was saying it felt scripted. I was about to say that Houston was getting out of fraudulence and they revealed themselves as 5-alarm imposters. Detroit is gritty and tenacious. And the Motor City smells weakness when they're about to pounce. The sweat's the giveaway. They know the tell. They were molded by failure. Houston's a mere novice in this art. They need to suffer a frustrating year or 60 before they can master it. This was some awful football to watch. Both of these franchises aren't close to 100% nor legit contenders, and it showed. A comedy of errors for offenses ahoy. The powers of their might were transferred to the Thursday night affair. Defenses will feast on caviar and skill positions tonight. Mostly because neither side is a goddamn offensive line. Does anyone care to block anymore? Tua's head's turning into primordial soup and the Rams just trip over themselves. Hope you saved room for dessert because there are plenty of turnovers to go around. And the Mucks somewhat had to come out on top. And LA just kept making careless mistake after careless mistake. Miami's offense was mostly useless, but even the most hobbled of teams can take advantage of it. The win was unsightly and grotesque, but the Dolphins managed to stop the bleeding. Well, hypothetically. Their defense is still getting the shit beaten out of it. It's gonna be a very long road for both franchises. And this might be the game that costs the Rams a playoff spot. Have you seen the NFC? It's cutthroat as all hell.
Bring out Jadid! Bring out Jadid! Bring out Jadid!
Unit lost.
Bring out Jadid!
Unit lost.
Thanks very much. Oh, Joel. See you on Thursday. Right.
Boney the snap, Riley the hold, Lutz the kick to win it. Oh! Blocked! The Chiefs have won! The Chiefs have won!